When we were kids, if somebody lived abroad and came back to the country, we used to see them as if they were weird or something was wrong with them. We used to think, why would you live abroad and then come back to this place, So when we see or hear about people like that, the general assumption those days is that something is wrong with them. Maybe, they got mad, or maybe they did something bad and then they had to run away from the country, or maybe things are not going well with them, basically. So because it's unheard of for you to leave abroad and even come back at all. I remember when we were in school, there was this man who served in the US Army for a very long time, and then he came back to Owerri to live in Owerri. So every time people see him, people are wondering, something's wrong with this man. There's something wrong, something wrong with him. How could you have lived in the US all that while, served in the US Army, and then come back to where it's come and live, come back to Nekede, where it's come and live? There's something, village people have gotten through to you, or there's some juju that is disturbing you or something. That's always the thought. I remember that I had a teacher in secondary school, Dr. Waziri, very intelligent man, one of the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life. And he lived abroad. I think he lived in Canada or something. And then he came back to Aba to teach in secondary schools. So every time he's sharing his story in the class, all my classmates, they refuse to believe him. They feel something is wrong with him because it doesn't even make sense to them that he lived abroad, traveled around. I think he lived in Spain and lived in Canada. And then he came back to Aba to become a secondary school teacher. So they didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to them, and they refused to believe him. They felt he was a fraud, that he's just telling lies, that he didn't go anywhere, because for them it didn't make sense. And anybody could leave Nigeria and go abroad and live abroad for a while and come back. What are you coming back to come and do? But the truth is, now that I have lived abroad and I've also interacted with people who have lived in different places around the world, I think I see why people come back. I think I understand why people come back. People come back for several reasons. It could be patriotism. They love the country. They love the continent. The truth is, the continent, there is nothing not to be loved about the African continent. Maybe we have our issues, political issues, leadership issues, bad roads, utilities are bad, but the continent itself is beautiful. The fresh air you breathe, that is a commodity that many countries do a lot to maintain. The peace and quiet, the greenery, the fresh water. There's just so much that the continent offers. So there are several reasons why people come back. The Western countries also have a system that some Africans might feel is not really designed for them. For example, when someone gets old and gets aged, the African system does not have old people's home, but we have a community system whereby family members can take care of someone that's old. Your friend, your children can take care of you. We have that system. That is something that we are envied for around the world. So there are several reasons why people leave abroad and come back. Sometimes people make, they work for years abroad, they make money, and then they save that money. And they know that with the amount of money they saved, if they come back to the continent and live in the continent, it will last them a whole lot longer than it would have lasted them if they were living abroad, right? So there are several reasons why people come back. And I think as I get older and I interact with people, I see that reason